putting your trust in church or the people in church is not the way to go, and this is why. Because you're putting your physical trust, or even in some cases your spiritual trust, in a place and in people. And if you think that because it is a church, doesn't matter what denomination it is, even though it may seem that way, but it is not, doesn't matter what denomination it is, if you think that putting your trust even in the pastor, that is not the way to go, and that is because you're not putting your trust in Jesus 100%. You're putting your trust in people who think that the presence of God, that's what I was trying to say. The presence of God is not in church, because you hear the saying that they always say, which is even disgraceful for them to say, that, well, everyone's a sinner and they are sinners no matter what. We're sinners saved by grace. No. If you are a sinner, you are a slave to sin, and your master, who is the one who rebelled in the beginning, is the devil. Your slave, your master is Satan. And many people, whether they want to believe it or not, are slaves of the devil. And their masters are these religious spirits that belong to the devil. And they are always warring with each other. They're always leading each other astray. And it always leads to the downfall of hell. But for your marriage or for your kids growing up, who should you put your trust in? Well, I'm here to tell you it's not to put your trust in church. Your trust is to not put it in pastors or churchgoers or even anyone. You put your trust in Jesus, and whatever he tells you to do, you trust that Jesus' way is the only way, and you have to go with the flow of what Jesus wants you to do, and it will prosper. Or you will prosper. I have done this in the past where I've put my trust in church, and I thought because I go to a pastor or I go to a church, because the presence of God is in church, I thought that what I would be doing is a good thing. Well, it turns out, you guys, that is not the case. But what is the case is you have to ultimately, from person to person, as if someone was in front of you, you have to put your trust in Jesus directly. You don't put what people think is that Jesus is just some third party type of person. And what I mean by that is that people think the way to Jesus is through this Bible. Though it testifies about Jesus, this Bible itself is not the way, the truth, the life. Jesus Christ said that I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no one that goes to the Father except, and no one can go to the Father except through me. And people in this day and age have put their trust in their Bible as if it is God. People have put their trust in church as if the presence of God resides in there. They think that the pastors are the ones that are the right people to go to because they think that the Spirit of God lives in them. And it's sad to see this and hear these stories that they have even been handed over into their deception to believing that this physical truth is, or that this physical thing is a truth, but it's actually a lie. And unfortunately, this physical lie and deception has to be physically true for many because they believed lies for truth and truth for lies. God has to hand them over to deception because they chose that deception. Not to say that God has to, but the reason why God does is because they chose lies over the truth. Now, I will reiterate that again and say that again because this is very important. God handed them over to the deception to believing that lie to be truth and the truth, the real truth, to be lies, because they think that if they don't go to church, then the presence of God won't be with them. That is false. I thought that this Bible had the presence of God residing in it. In late 2017, I was on the phone with a family member over my ex-girlfriend for, I don't even remember what the thing was about. And I think it might have been about my ex-girlfriend going to Christ or whatever. And I put this hand on this Bible, and I felt this very weird feeling from my hand, like as if there's a weird, warm, glowing feeling going up through my veins, like the in parts of my body. And it just felt very weird. I was letting myself astray because I was giving power to the Bible, thinking that that is the source of power. I honestly thought that. But the scriptures, the presence of church, and the presence of the soothing words of a pastor or songs that are Christian, those aren't power. Jesus has power. And by his word that proceeds out of his mouth, even without even saying a word, he has power. Remember what the people said throughout the Gospel of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Who is this person that speaks and the demons flee? Though it is not worded in that said word, or what I'm basically saying. Basically what I'm saying is that Jesus is the one who has power. And his words have power. And his whole being has power. So that is the message that I give you today. Power is not found in church or religion or the powers of conservative movements. Power that is spiritually true is found in Jesus. And to the person that you are to go to directly, not through a third party way or a fourth party way, or through these multiple ways that Oprah Winfrey even said that there are multiple ways to God, which is a lie from Satan himself. The way to God is through Jesus Christ directly. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and no one goes to the Father except through him. May Christ bless you.